Hi, football fam, and welcome back to Football Fakir, your home for all sorts of football content. And wow, what a weekend of football we had! From the MTN 8 first leg semi-finals to the Premier League kicking off, as well as La Liga and League One. Be sure that football is back in full swing. I watched a couple of matches in the Premier League as well as the MTN 8 semi-finals. So I'll be doing a weekend review and my thoughts on some of the matches that I've watched and the results, as well as how I think teams will do throughout the season. Please check my previous video. I spoke about the Premier League and I did a prediction table. My thoughts will be coming in on this video as well of what I saw over the weekend and how I think teams will do. So let's jump straight into the video. So before we continue and jump into the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do share this out to all your friends and family. It really helps the channel grow. We do interact with all the people who comment. So thank you so much if you have liked, subscribe, and comment on the previous videos. If not, we do appreciate you for just watching. However, please don't be shy. It takes nothing to you to subscribe or the like button. The Premier League started off on Friday evening when Liverpool hosted Bournemouth. Again, Liverpool tagged as favourites in many to win the Premier League because of the summer um, transfer window they had. And the first half started a very cagey affair, both teams sussing each other out. I said this on TikTok that when Bournemouth were pressing Liverpool, Liverpool each time got lucky to avoid the press. It was either a misplaced pass from one of the Liverpool players, which then would just bounce to the teammate. For example, they'll try and play a pass, will go against a Bournemouth player, and then they'll just end up at the Liverpool player's feet, or a missed pass will then beat the oncoming player, or a ricochet trying to dribble and the ball bobble between the player's feet, and then somehow Liverpool just managed to evade the Bournemouth press. And on the other hand, Bournemouth played through Liverpool's press easily. Um, Hugo Ekitike, what a player, man. What a signing, in my opinion. What he brings to the Liverpool side is just something that they needed, which they haven't had in the strike in a long time. Someone who's willing to make the runs, someone who's not afraid to play on the shoulder of the centre back or even to drop deep or drop short to link up play. He knows when to hold the ball, he knows when to lay the ball off. Exceptional signing. He will be key for Liverpool the season. He opened the scoring on debut in the first half, and Liverpool went into halftime leading 1-0. I said on my TikTok at the halftime is that in order for Liverpool to take control of the game, they need to then start playing quicker. So they did in the second half. Second half started, Liverpool started playing quicker, and then they got the second goal through Cody Gakpo. Beautifully worked goal. Um, You get Katika makes a run, ball gets played into him. He holds the ball up. Cody Gakpo comes inside, he lays the ball off. Gakpo feints a shot, beats the player, and then initially takes a shot. Good finish. Um, then Arne Slot makes changes. He takes off Milos Kerkez, who Semenya had the better of him. And then he takes off Frimpong, who in my opinion, like I've always said it, Frimpong, he will be tested with his physicality in the Premier League. And one or two times Brooks got past him by just using his strength, um, just holding him off and then rolling him each time. Then the changes were made for Liverpool. He brought on Endo at right back and the Robertson at left back. And then it was a Semenyo show. Counter attack from Bournemouth. Ball gets played over the top to Brooks, who plays a first time cross. And the Robertson is too late to react, and Semenyo was there to score. And then the second goal, Semenyo makes it 2-2 basically running 75 meters from the edge of his box. He receives the ball and then dribbles towards Konate and Van Dijk. He had three other players in support with him, but he took it upon himself and he took the initiative um, to take it upon him, and he scores and it makes it 2-2. And I had Bournemouth in my prediction video to end 15th. And after watching Bournemouth, I think Semenyo is going to carry this team forward. They need to hold on to him to survive relegation. The way he carried the team, whenever he got the ball, he was a danger man for Liverpool. He had the better of Milos Kerkez, like I mentioned. And he makes it 2-2, and then 88th minute, Chiesa comes on from the bench, and then he scores in the 88th minute, makes it 3-2, and then Mo Salah in added on time makes it 4-2. And importantly, it's 3 points for Liverpool. No matter how they played, no matter how the result came, it's 3 points for Liverpool. They move on and they can fix where they need to make the fixes. Salah had a quiet game. Salah was horrible, to be honest. He wasn't himself. Mo Salah, I don't know, man, if but this was one of those games or he needs to adjust to the players. Florian Wirtz looked busy. He wants to get on the ball, but again, in that final third, decision making was bad. Um, Move on to the Tottenham Burnley game, and it was the Richarlison show. It's a match that I caught glimpses of. Mohamed Kudus and Richarlison, those two are going to be key for Spurs. Also throwing Dominic Solanke there, Brennan Johnson who got the third goal. You know, with all these attacking players in, with a solid spine that they have now in the defense with Danso, Romero, and Van der Ven playing as three centre backs. That's a solid spine. You have your midfield, you have Palinia, you have Betancourt, you have Papi Saus playing as an attacking midfielder. So you have those players to cover you, so you can play your Kudus, you can play your Richarlison, you can bring Brennan Johnson off on the bench, you can start Solanke and Richarlison, whoever you want to start, play Kudus as a 10. You have the defensive cover there um, that Spurs missed last season because they were vulnerable at the back. But now you have a different formation, new manager coming in, and they managed to get 3 points. Aston Villa drew to Newcastle. Sunderland surprised everyone and beat West Ham 3-0. West Ham is fixing. Um, I don't know what to say more. And then Fulham scored late in added on time to make it 1-1 against Brighton of Albion. And then Man City, man, wow, what a team. Haaland scoring two, Dejani Reinders on the score sheet as well as Ryan Cherky. And I'll say this again, Dejani Reinders is the best two-way midfielder in the world at the moment. Attack and defense. You know what I mean? You can say he's a box to box because he can move up and down, but my opinion, I'll say a two-way midfielder. He can attack and he can defend. Um, he's not the hardest of tacklers. However, he will chase you down, he will hunt you down. He can intercept passes, he can read the game well. But going forward, man, he's just a gem to watch. I've watched him at AC Milan, where he reminds me of a Frank Lampard type of play. He doesn't have the shot on him, but the way he gets into the box, the position he finds himself in, and it's a perfect replacement for Gundogan in the City side. Then Ryan Cherky comes from the bench, left foot, right foot, pings passes like he wants to. And then Haaland, man, it's just the striker they need. The important thing for City is now how do you build on to your next game. Pep is known for his rotation of his squad. Um, if he can have a consistent starting 11 every week, making your changes here and there, then City will be formidable. They will be back to the best Man City that they were. Winning nothing last season, I can assure you, Pep is coming for everything this season. Moving on then to the Sunday fixture, Chelsea drawing to Crystal Palace, Forest beating Brentford 3-1, and I say that Brentford, in my opinion, will be relegated. And then, yeah, the match of the weekend, Manchester United hosting Arsenal. Um, Manchester United dominate Arsenal on all fronts. The result, however, Arsenal wins Manchester United 1-0. Goalkeeping error again. We have to point out the obvious, and I've said this in my Manchester United review, and when I spoke about it, I said you can bring in all these attacking players, but if you don't fix the problem that they had last season, it's going to be tough for Manchester United. Um, of course, in goals where you don't score, you need to keep a clean sheet to walk away with a point. And for Bayenda to make a mistake like that, it's costly. Yes, the people will say there was a push, there was a foul. Irrespective of that, he needs to make sure punch the ball. He tries to flap it out, or he tries to kill whatever he tries to do. No strong hand onto it. Caliafori then here's it home, and that was the game. Arsenal never threatened Manchester United in any shape or form. United dominated through Cunha and Buemo running the show. Um, didn't create any clear-cut chances though. However, Buemo had a header that David Raya had to save. Dogu hit the post. However, nothing clear could be created. The question for Manchester United is, where do they fit in all these players that they have? Where does Bruno play? Because in my opinion, you needed Bruno at the edge of the box, linking up with Cunha and Guemo to be the guy who plays in that final pass with a 1-2 or to receive the ball and then find the next pass. Because Mbeumo, in the first half, Mbeumo got all the ball in good space. However, it turned into nothing because there's no one close to him. That we started with Mount for no reason. I don't see any reason why Mount is playing. Sesko came on to a good cheer from the crowd, but then Manchester United delayed to cross the ball into the box. So it's just figuring that out of where the players will all fit in. Ahmad and Mbuemo. When does Ahmad overlap or when does he underlap? Because they both are left footed. Um, it's to figure out of, do you go with Luke Shaw as your left centre back? Those small things that needs to be ironed out. And one thing that I fear is, when do you iron out these things? You can do it in training, yes, but come in a competitive one match day, um, it's difficult to see what you've done in training because now it's different opposition. It's people who study you. Because on training you're trying to fix things. So, in my opinion, when do you fix it? Because you don't have Champions League, Europa League, Conference League to play. You will have the Carabao Cup, yes, but if you lose, you're out. So, when do you experiment as Manchester United? Do you experiment for the whole season, end as high as you can, and then go next season again? You understand what I'm saying? Because at the moment now, it's getting those things right, finding where does Bruno play? Does he play as a in the midfield Casemiro, or do you play him with a Mainu? Do you play Casemiro and Mainu and play Bruno further up, or do you leave Bruno out of the team? It's things that needs to be spoken about. But I feel Manchester United, they can go on and be better than last season. It's just at the cost of goalkeeping errors, it will cost the team, and it was proven yesterday. Arsenal again, doesn't matter how it comes. I predicted Arsenal to win the league. No matter how it comes, 3 points is all you need. You don't need to play the best of football as long as you got the result. Because the log was so Arsenal has 3 points, Man United has zero. And then last match will we play this evening, Leeds versus Everton. But yeah, Premier League is back full swing. Some good sides. Teams will cause upsets. I was disappointed in the Aston Villa Newcastle match because coming from last season, the expectation that these two teams set out, you expected something better. But if the both sides hasn't made signings, it's always going to be difficult. No new players brought in besides Ilanga for Newcastle. But yeah, that is the Premier League game week one. We're looking forward to the rest of the season. And I'll move on to the MTN 8 now. And going into the MTN 8 semi final, the first legs, Orlando Pirates are going 1 0 with Sundowns, and Stellies going on to beat Sekekune 2-0. At the Orlando Stadium, Sundowns took the lead through to Bokomoku and a goal from a set piece. Um, in the first half, Sundowns dominated. Pirates couldn't get close to Sundowns. Sundowns was playing their game, holding on to the ball, forming a boxing midfield, which they always do with Matthews and Salis coming inside. Then Bazuan had to go off in the first half to injury. Jared Adams came on, and still they were dominating. They were fluent in their play. And the only time that Pirates did threaten Sundowns was when they went wide. They had the width of Dino van Rooyen who started at right back and Dion Otto who started at left back. Um, they got the width from those two because they had Seatley Dooley and Talent and Bata who was sitting in front of the two centre backs. So you had to cover defensively. However, when the ball went wide to Dino van Rooyen or Dion Otto, nothing came from it. In the second half, we saw then Coach Abdesalam Adu introduce Arson Apollos, Sipong Bule. Um, he brought in Murebi and then he moved Selibele to right back, and then Pirates were dominating. Pirates came into the game. Um, they got two chances. One was where they were pressing, Pirates was pressing, and Grand Kikana took a bad first touch and the ball went into the path of Mahopa where he rushed his shot and he couldn't, he scuffed his shot and it was an easy save for Ronald Williams. Then from a corner again, Mahopa hitting the post, hitting the upright from a header. And then Pirates were up, the tails were up. And then Mbukazi to diagonal ball over the head of Divine Lunga, Selebele, good first touch in his path. Ronald Williams comes out and he slots it over to make it 1-1. Um, and I made a prediction video and I predicted a 1-1 result, mainly because there is always a second leg. Teams would rather, okay, it's fine, let's take the point. We'll not take the point, let's draw 1-1. We can always fight back in the second leg when we have everything to play for. Um, but yeah, I feel Pirates again, it's when do you play Chipombul and Tito Masangoane together? When do you play Ozonopolis and Mofokeng? Do you go with Mahopa, Raliopane? Um, I said it before, Pirates has quantity, but they do not have the quality. I think they need another winger, a winger who can come on and be just as effective as Ozonopolis and Mofokeng will be. They need to sort of their right back position because they played now with three right backs there, or four right backs you can say. Because they really played there in the second half of the um, the semi final. Moving on to Stellis and Sekukune. Stellis were dominant. Either from Cotswold from a corner, and then Devon Titus making a 2-0. And then they were in control of the game. Um, yeah, it's going to be difficult now, obviously, for Sekukune to come back. Even though they are holding this in the second leg, it's going to be a lot to ask of them. Knowing how good Stellis are defensively, it's not going to be easy to break down the Stellenbosch defense. And so when they are in the lead, they know just for 90 minutes seeing it out. And to be honest, I predict the Pirates Stellenbosch final, the same like last year. I think this will be the final again this year. And in that final, I think this year Stellenbosch will go on and actually be the MTN doing this season. Um, I predict the same final as last year, and I'm making this prediction now. I think Pirates will win Sundowns in Pretoria, and then Stellies will see out the tie and qualify for the final, and then we'll have a Pirates Stellenbosch final, which I think Stellenbosch will go on and win. And then in other football news across the globe, FC Barcelona win out 3-0 winners versus Mallorca. Goals from Rafinha, Ferran Torres, and Lamine Yamal. Atletico Madrid lost 2-1 to Espanyol. PSG 1-0 victors over Nantes. And then South Africa's very own Sandra Campbell scoring for Club Brugge in added on time to see them secure all 3 points, his first goal for his club. So that is the end of the video. Thank you everyone for staying tuned and watching throughout. I do try and upload as regular as I can. I do appreciate all the love and support. Thank you very much. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And check out the next video coming in the week. Thank you very much.